All right, ladies and gentlemen, about to get started. I'd like to introduce Bob Laprelle, the president and CEO of the Frisco now, Museum of the American Railroad. So, Bob?
Appreciate it. All right, what a good crowd. Thank you for coming. Well, we finally got here. This has been a long time coming, but we finally made it. I'm Bob Laprelle again, and I'm the president and CEO of the Museum of the American Railroad. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the staff, and all of our volunteers who have helped us get to this point, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and sharing in this celebration of our groundbreaking for our new facility in Frisco, Texas. Thank you. Well, what we see behind us right now is basically just an undeveloped parcel of blackland prairie. But what will rise from this land very soon will be the premier museum of railroad history and technology in the Southwest. And it won't be just about the past, but it'll be about the present and future of railroading and the promise that this industry holds for us in the future. The first phase of construction will basically encompass grading the site, getting the elevation correct, and getting all of the roadbed put down for the trackage, what we call Phase 1A trackage. And that's about 3,300 feet of track, and that's enough to accommodate the rolling stock collection that's currently in Dallas. And then from there, we build all the exhibit trackage to where we can actually fan out the collection, display it, where you can enjoy it and appreciate it, where it's not so clustered together. And then all the visitor amenities like sidewalks, fencing, lighting, utilities, and so forth. And then later on comes the capital campaign to build permanent buildings and actually have the museum facilities that is befitting of this wonderful collection with the museum. There are several people here today, and I'd kind of like to acknowledge some of our attendees just for a moment. Mayor Masso, the mayor of Frisco, is here. Good to see you. Thank you. We have former Mayor Mike Simpson, who is here today. Mike, thank you for coming. City council members, if we have some city council members here with Frisco, could you raise your hands? I think we had a few here. Jeff Cheney and Bob Allen. Okay. And then former council members who helped share the vision to create this wonderful opportunity for us a few years ago. Jim Joyner. Yes, sir. Thank you. The city manager's office. We have several people here from the city manager's office. And representatives from the Community Development Corporation that's been a big help in this project. Also the Economic Development Corporation of Frisco, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the Chamber. We have some folks here from there. We appreciate all of you coming. And I must say that Frisco has done a fantastic job of sharing our vision and making this possible. Obviously, it couldn't be done without them. They have been wonderful to work with. We've gotten to know them very well. They're great friends, and we have enjoyed really planning all of this and getting it to this point. I'd also like to introduce the Board of Trustees for the Museum of the American Railroad. We'll have them come up here in a little while, but if y'all want to raise your hands, we have several of our trustees here. All right, one of them's in a conductor uniform there. Thank you. And we have a number of museum members, volunteers, and supporters that are here today. And again, we could not have done this without their help. They have been very important to this project. We also have some officials from Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railway here today. I saw Ron Jackson earlier. There he is. And Ron informs me that we will have a train about 11:15 as part of this. Thank you very much. I bet you thought I was crazy when I made that request. So we will actually have a railroad presence up here in just a little while. We have some folks from other railroads, including Amtrak, Trinity Railway Express, I think Bill Farquhar is here, and Dallas Garland and Northeastern Railroad. We also have some folks from Fair Park Administration, Daniel Huerta and Mark Gerald. Thank you all for coming. Okay, just a little bit about what's going to happen here in the next several weeks, months, and years. Once the trackage is complete and the switch is put in on the BNSF main line here just north of Cotton Gin Road, which, by the way, they have graciously provided us at no cost. They've been a big supporter of this project. Once all of that is in place, then we will actually start the move of our rolling stock collection to Frisco. The good thing is we have track that's in place all the way from Fair Park to this point. And once we make our connection, then we can actually start rolling it up onto the site. But as you all can imagine, that will be an event in and of itself. And we'll try to keep everybody apprised of when things move and so forth on our website. We have gotten calls from all around the world on when the big boy steam locomotive is going to move, the world's largest. So we're really preparing for that. That's going to be an exciting event. It's one of the nation's premier collections. We regard it as in the top 5 among railroad museums. And we'll be bringing so many pieces up here that can tell the wonderful story of railroading in the history of this nation. The world's largest steam and diesel locomotives will come up here. One of them helped win the Second World War in the 1940s by hauling troops and war materials across the Continental Divide. There'll be a diesel locomotive that replaced it that presided over the prosperity of the post-war years and moved a lot of freight across the transcontinental United States. We have the largest collection of Pullman sleeping cars, one of the finest collections, original, retired in the 1950s, that went straight into a museum, and these are fantastic pieces that, you can come on up here. This is my boy. These will be on display, and it'll be one of the best history lessons on the Pullman Company and what it did for the culture in this nation. The locomotive that pulled Robert Kennedy's funeral train in 1968. The private railway car that Harry Truman campaigned from when he was running for senator of Missouri. 2 Texas landmark structures, and the list goes on. But it's more than just the tangible evidence of what we're bringing up here. It's the stories behind them. It's the stories of our great nation and what the railroads contributed to their growth and prosperity. One of the grandest conveyances on earth, and the profound effect that it had on our land and our people. We went from an agrarian nation to the greatest industrialized nation on earth, partly because of the railroad and their influence and their ability to haul massive materials. They presided over western expansion. They brought materials and people west of the Mississippi when the first transcontinental railroad was completed in 1869. They helped us win 2 world wars and contribute to the post-war prosperity that took place after those wars. There are many stories to be told that we will share with children of new generations, with Frisco schools, all the surrounding school districts as part of our educational programs, and it will be an exciting time for general visitors and a wonderful message for people who come and visit this museum from all over the world. There are several personal stories. The story of Earl Manyweather, who visited our museum when he was 86 years old a few years ago and took us into our dining car and showed us where he kept soda crackers in the kitchen and where you could find clean linens. It's the story of Harvey Miller, who celebrated his 90th birthday at our museum so he could show his kids and his grandkids what he did for a living when he worked on the Dallas Union Terminal locomotive, steam locomotive number 7. And we have one gentleman here today, Jim Reed, who actually, when he finished his tour of duty in World War II, including Iwo Jima, he became a locomotive engineer for the Great Northern Railroad. He's one of the few surviving true steam locomotive engineers out there right now, and he's here today. So we have a wonderful opportunity to tell some great stories and be a location for not only educational programs but cultural tourism. It's a story about a small town on the Black Land Prairie, a town when the railroad came through in 1902 that carried the name of the railroad. That town was Frisco City, and it was later incorporated and has grown into a town of over 110,000 people today. And we celebrate the local stories that are to be told by the railroad coming through towns like this. And I'd like to, at this time, go ahead and introduce Mayor Hermoso, Mayor of Frisco, to talk a little bit about what this means for Frisco.
He can hang out here. Let me tell you, look around you. This is probably the last time you'll see more adults than kids here, so you might as well enjoy it. That's kind of what Frisco's about. But, well, thank you. This is really an exciting day. I can't tell you how exciting this is. It's that old saying that, you know, the good things take time. well, this is one of those good things, and it's taken some time, but it's going to be one of those great things, and we're really excited about it. It was already mentioned, some of my colleagues here. We have our Mayor Pro Tem Jeff Cheney and Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Bob Allen here with us. I didn't see any other council member walk up, but it's really fitting that they're here, along with former Mayor Mike Simpson, former council member Jim Joyner, former council member Tony Felker's here, and I think that's all I saw. But these are the guys and gals previously that had really real vision. This took a long time. This didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen the day we announced that we were going to do this. It happened long before that, because this city is really focused on destination type venues, family-friendly venues, and it's a lot of people put in a lot of hours, and I sure appreciate what they've done, and I know the community appreciates what they have done for us. Also with us today, we have County Commissioner Matt Shaheen. Matt, raise your hand. Where are you hiding? There he is right there. And we also have city staff here, as was mentioned, George Purefoy, our city manager, Deputy City Manager Henry Hill. We have Dana Baird. We have a lot of other staff. I know I missed several, but they're all excited about being here. We have Jim Gandy with our EDC. I know Nancy Wyndham. I saw David Porter with our EDC, Alan Beal, who's also here. We have a lot of city staff, a lot of city volunteers here with us today. And that's because this is really a defining moment for us. It's one of those venues that really make who you are. It fits in well with the things we've done, and it's really exciting. This is just the start, folks. This is the start. I mean, we've all seen some of the conceptual plans. We've seen some of the ideas. But I could tell you what some of the things you have not seen is the excitement. You know, as an elected official, I get to, and this is fitting, right? We want this coming through. Here comes the train. This is really good. They came right on time. I called them earlier this morning. But some of the things you haven't seen and heard is the excitement from our citizens and residents, and not just from Frisco. There's a lot in the region. We go to a lot of events, meet a lot of people, but one of the consistent things that comes up is excitement about the Railroad Museum locating here. And it's really a regional thing. I know you all follow some of the issues that was taking place in Dallas, but to me, this is a benefit to Dallas. It's a benefit to all the cities around us. It's a venue that we can help grow. We can help it become even more important right on time. That's a sweet sound, folks. You know, somebody must have planned this, guys, because they don't blow the horn anymore. Yeah, kind of like a flyover, right? I'm willing to take those complaints. Well, that's exciting. And BNSF is one of those partners. We sure appreciate it. Well, I think y'all can hear me over that horn, so I'm going to keep going, but it makes a good background that I really enjoy. But those people that I've spoken to are waiting for this, and this is one of the few times, one of the few major decisions we've made as a city and a CDC and EDC that there hasn't been any negative that I've heard. Nobody's come up to me and said, "Why are you doing this?" Or "This is a really bad idea." I haven't heard that. It's one of those times that this helps bring the community together. This is one of those times that builds excitement for the entire community. So I'm excited for Frisco. I'm excited for the region. I'm excited for all the partners that are going to be involved in this, like BNSF. This is going to be a moment that we build on. Frisco today is 121,000 people. It will soon be around 280. And all the cities around us are continuing to grow just like we are. The two counties, Collin County, Denton County. So this is going to become a destination. And when I joked around about the kids that are going to outnumber us, the one thing I know with the Frisco Discovery Center and Safety Town is the school districts all around us build curriculums around this. And I can see some exciting educational moments for our kids. So I, as a resident of Frisco, I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to it. We can't make it happen fast enough, but I know that our city will do everything we know how to make it happen. So thank you all for being here. It's a great first step. Looking forward to the future. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate that. We will make this happen as fast as we possibly can, that's for sure. And the whole dynamics of this project change as of today. We're going to be able to do that. I'd like to have, at this point, have members of the Board of Trustees come up here, if you would, including Tom Smith, our board chair. Trustees of the Museum of the American Railroad, 2011. We're missing a few, but we have pretty good turnout here. I have to tell you that the gentleman on the end to my right here is Jack DeGolyer Maxson, relative of one of the original founders of our museum, Everett Lee DeGolyer Jr. Jack, thanks for coming. And I'd like to introduce our board chair, Tom Smith. I like to brag on him. He's been involved in a lot of museum projects in the Dallas area. Legends of the Game Museum, the Dallas County Museum at Old Red. He was project head over there. And he was involved at Old City Park, which is now Dallas Heritage Village. He was over there for a number of years. Tom brings a lot of experience to us, and he's a dear friend. So, Tom, you want to say some words?
Thank you very much. I want you to know that Bob Laprelle has been just the mainstay in this project and has done an absolutely magnificent job. He doesn't necessarily multitask, he everything tasks. He's been a great help, and I thank you very, very much for what you've done. And thank you for coming out for the groundbreaking for this Museum of the American Railroad. It's a beginning for a new opportunity. It's a new opportunity for the Museum of the American Railroad. It's a new opportunity for the city of Frisco, and it's a new opportunity for the citizens of Frisco. The museum has the opportunity to develop a wonderful new museum from its collections. It has the opportunity to showcase a wide range of educational programs for the students in the Frisco schools and for the adults who enjoy trains and history and learning. It's an opportunity for the city of Frisco. The city has been very important to this museum. And certainly, I thank you very much for the board for what this city has done for this museum. It's an opportunity for Frisco to offer a new facility and a destination for the citizens of Frisco, North Texas, and actually nationwide. The Museum of the American Railroad will become part of the wonderful and exciting venues that the city offers to the people. It's baseball, and it's soccer, it's hockey, and it's concert programs. It's an opportunity for the people of Frisco to have a new facility, the Museum of the American Railroad, to add its educational programs to those already available in its school system. And I have to add that if a museum doesn't have an educational program, and not necessarily for school children, but for all people, then there's no sense to have the museum, because it is an educational function. It's interesting for me as I go around and talk to people and they say, well, we're only interested in education. Well, that's what a museum is. It's an educational facility. And the cities and the people should use them as such. It's a rough time these days for history museums. History museums do not grow on trees. The museum needs help to develop this wonderful facility to build on top of the generosity of the city of Frisco. This is an opportunity for the citizens to help develop this new facility in Frisco, and to make it another venue for which the city and its citizens can be most proud. I thank you all very much for coming.
Thank you, Tom. And I want to thank again several agencies of the city. Certainly the city manager's office, Henry Hill, he's been such a joy to work with on this project. And also, again, the Community Development Corporation, the Economic Development Corporation, the CVB, and the Chamber. They have just been fantastic. They've been resources for us. They've provided all of their resources throughout this project to help us build a brand up here, publicize this, and get to this point of the groundbreaking. And I thank all of you representatives for being here today from those organizations. Really, there's just so many thanks to go out today, and I'll try to be brief. I know we want to get in where it's air conditioning, not so sticky out here, but again, I want to thank the founders of the Museum of the American Railroad. We have representatives here today from both families, the Ruckers and the DeGolyers, and so many volunteers who have worked tirelessly for almost 50 years to save this collection from the scrapper's torch, to conserve it, preserve it, and present it. And this museum is about to go into a completely new orbit and really be able to realize its potential that it's had for so many years and be a fantastic destination for this area. There are many foundations and individuals who have given to us both for phase one of this construction project and then throughout the years to help us to maintain the collection. It's not done without dollars, obviously. It's a major endeavor. You know, we have more pieces of rolling stock than some small short line railroads, and several pieces still operate. So it's not unlike running a small railroad when it comes to maintaining your equipment, keeping it painted, keeping it presentable, and then you've got the museum component on top of that. So it's a big endeavor, and we appreciate everyone who has funded this and gotten it to this point. I'd like to thank Rick Lunsford and the team at Lunsford Associates, who has helped contribute to this project and also done the engineering on this 12.5-acre facility right here. When we approached them to come in and design all the trackage that's going to go in here, it was quite a feat, because as big as this property is, when you start putting over a mile of track in here, it becomes very challenging to maintain curvature and degree of turnout and everything else associated with the track geometry. And they've done a fantastic job of engineering this. It's kind of like building a ship in a bottle. And I want to thank William Brotherton with the Brotherton Law Firm. William, why don't you come on up here? You're part of this team too. I'm sorry I missed you. Yes, thank you, William. They have done a fantastic job on representing us on some challenges, obviously. And William is a great guy. He's fun to work with. He has maintained such a great attitude and demeanor about this whole thing. And I want to thank BNSF Railway. My gosh, this is when we got serious with the city of Frisco. The next contact we made, the next thing we did to reach out was to the very railroad that serves this property, and they really have stepped up and supported this project. They're going to put the switch in to make the connection with their main line. They're going to provide engines and crews to move this collection over here, up here on a good part of the route. And Ron Jackson, thank you again for making that happen with that train. That was great. We appreciate that. Perfect. I had contacts on both ends, the railroad and then the city. If there's any complaint about the whistle ordinance, we'll just send it to the mayor. And then, you know, you got to take the opportunity to ask for funding. There's a way to do it that's shameless. You can do it in a very noble way. I've worked for a nonprofit for 25 years, but sometimes you just have to be shameless. So just remember, this ain't over. We need some more funds to keep this thing going. So make your checks payable to the Museum of the American Railroad. And a final thanks for helping with this event, Pete Hosp, Dana Baird, and many others with the city of Frisco. Sharon Rowland and the board and staff at Frisco Arts, Erica Yeager and the board and staff of the SciTech Discovery Center, which, by the way, they'll have their space open where you can tour the model train exhibit and see all of their science-related displays. And we just appreciate all your help in getting this done. And I'm going to acknowledge one more person that's very special to me today, because I get to, because I'm up here. And that's my mom. My dear, sweet mom is here today. And my sister Joan, thank you for coming. We lost my dad a couple of months ago. I wish he could have seen this, but thank you for coming. Okay, the groundbreaking. We're to that point. Clint, I'd like for you to come up here and help with that. And did anybody get a whistle? We handed out a few whistles. I don't know if we got any out there or not. You got a whistle.
Do you have your whistle? Take it out of its plastic bag protective container. You hold it thusly. Don't cover the 3 holes here. Your mouth goes over the 3 holes. I learned this from Boxcar Willie back in Branson about 20 years ago. And I'm a conductor, so we're going to go toot toot, okay? So do you have your whistles? Don't anticipate the command now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Jack.
I'm right behind you. Yes, David Ford? David? Okay.
And I thought I saw
Alan Dean?
Alan.
Okay. Alan?
Alan.
Come on up. Yes. Ron. Ron, why don't you come up here? Let's have a railroad man up here.
You probably started out with
He probably did.
Ron, did you start out with All right, perfect. Remember which way the wind's blowing.
2, 3, shovel!
Couple more for the cameras, guys.
One time. 1, 2, 3, shovel!
We're going to do multiple ones, so the board of directors is going to come up. Then we can get the city council, George, Jim, Ron, Henry. After this, we'll get you all up here.
When we have members of the council, the EDC, the CDC, and anybody else with the city come up here, let's get some photo ops. Okay? Where's Pete? Henry? Sure? Come on over here. Tim Gandy, you out there? There he is.
Track in 2 weeks, so I got a lot of dirt and shovel here.
All right.
we're about to the end of the groundbreaking, and thank you all again for coming. There's a saying that goes, great museums make great cities, and I think that's certainly the case here, but it works both ways. Great cities make great museums. And again, thank you for the opportunity to do this in Frisco. This is going to be a great place with a source of a lot of pride for Frisco and all of North Texas. The reception is back in the Discovery Center. You can go in the back door here if you want to and walk through the space and into the Discovery Center. Drinks and some light food and lots of good fellowship. So please join us in the reception area over there at Frisco Discovery Center. And SciTech is open with the model railroad display. Thank you again for coming. We appreciate it.